Hello and welcome to Talking Crass. Beat, we're here with episode 11, Dunkirk. We've just been to see it.
Oh, is it episode 11?
We're on to episode 11 now.
What was
mate.
episode 10?
Episode 10 was Interstellar. 10.5 was Game of Thrones.
Oh,
This is
so
11.
we didn't do anything special for the 10th episode.
No, but we were gonna. I was debating editing out every time we cracked up out of the first 10 episodes and releasing that.
That's a good show.
If,
We may do
people
that.
want to hear that, that can be done.
just a little special.
Little
a little
tw-
10.9.
A little 15 minutes of me and you cracking up.
10.7.5.
Mate, we're going a bit out of sequence with the 0.5s and that, like.
Well done.
Anyway, Bede, what about our cinema experience tonight?
Very good. I didn't even write this down in my notes, but we're definitely bringing it up.
Oh, Christ. What is it with people sitting in the wrong seats at cinemas? Like, you buy your seats. What is it about that? I don't get it.
I was okay with that. Right, went to see Dunkirk, of course.
Yeah. And I'm in a chilled out mood. I'm hungover again, so I
Well
couldn't be
done.
bothered with any aggro.
And we got to sit in our seats. The two dickheads are there.
In our seats.
Aye.
And we're like, you're in our seats.
And
As
we're
it
like-
happened, there was a lot of empty seats.
And then they didn't say anything or something like that.
They just looked at
What
us
they say to
weirdly.
you?
Just looked at us weirdly.
And we were like, alright, no worries, we'll sit like two down.
Obviously, people came in.
Obviously,
It was
like,
their seats.
the only people in the cinema came into our seats where we were sitting. So we were like, we can't be doing this. We can't keep on just musical chairing around the
what
cinema.
they say, like, fucking...
And then we go up and they go, right, move lads, it's our seats. And they were like, what did he say exactly? I need to quote him. Are you fucking joking us?
Are you fucking joking us?
And I was just...
Welcome to our town, people.
And I was just angered. I wasn't angered by the fact they were sitting in our seats. I was just angry with the way they spoke to us.
Beat's not going to interrupt or ruin this episode.
Not at all. But it may have affected me Dunkirk review. Might took a point off, I don't know.
Beat, we're going straight into it. And we're going to this week's top 5. That, not necessarily top 5,
Yes.
but in film. In order, Dunkirk.
Very good.
Beat, do you want me to start?
Go for it.
I've got Jaws.
I mean, just Jaws the shark is a board.
Is the shark called Jaws?
The shark is called Jaws.
Do they refer to it as Jaws at any time in the
I
film?
can't remember.
I don't think they do.
I know the shark's called Barry because it's named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer.
So it's not called Jaws, it's called
And that's
Barry.
why the shark in Finding Nemo is called Barry.
Really?
Because it's named after that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good little trivia there, Beat.
But I don't know if the shark is called Jaws.
Beat. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Very good. We all remember
That's
that.
got to go in there. That's got to go in there.
So
Beat,
the
have you got
little
any
terrible
other-
boat goes in.
The little
What's
terrible
it called? It's got a name, surely.
tugboat.
Tugboat 1. Well
Tugboat
done.
1. Generic. That's what we're calling it.
My first shout. Not a boat. More so a ship. Millennium Falcon.
What?
Straight in.
The Millennium Falcon.
Right, you might have to stretch the
It's
imagination.
boat speed.
Space ship. It's the boat of the sky. Alright? That's fine by my rules.
Beat. I don't know whether that can go into top
Bear
5
in mind,
boats
by
of all
the way,
time.
I've got 3.
What's the definition of a boat?
What's the definition of a ship?
Right, okay. Bear with us here, Beat.
Define boat, because boat will be water.
Right, so Beat.
Yeah.
Definition of a boat.
Brilliant, here's up.
There's two
What
nouns.
sauce?
There's 2 nouns.
What sauce?
We're going off just dictionary.com.
Brilliant.
A small vessel for travelling over water, propelled by oars, sails, or an engine.
Right.
A serving dish in the shape of a boat. A gravy boat.
Well, recently scientists found space is actually just water, but frozen. So I'm right.
False.
Well done.
Yeah, there's going there.
I tried it.
Anyway, right, so the Millennium Falcon's not going in.
It's a ship.
It's not going in.
It's a spaceship.
It's a spaceship, it's not a boat.
What's the definition of ship?
For Christ's
Get
sake.
it up.
1. A large boat for transporting people or goods by sea.
No!
2.
Metaphorical sea.
2. A spaceship.
Yes! We're
Right,
back
it
in.
goes in.
Yeah.
It
So
goes-
it's top 5 boats in film
All right.
/ ships.
Right, beat next one. I'm gonna go Boats and Hose, the boat out of Step Brothers. You wrecked my fucking boat, you goons!
The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. I dig it in the bottom while you're drinking sangria. Nachos and lemon heads and my dad's boat. We won't go down cause my dick can float. We sail around the world, we go port to port. Every time I come, I produce a quad. Pull up the anchors and leave a dry land. Get below deck with a dick in your hand.
Patreon, pay us what you want. What are you pausing now after that 4p?
Trying to think of the next lyrics.
I just imagine that guy's face in the camera just going, pull up the anchor because we're reaching dry land. It's the best bit of the bloody film.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Hit you with me flashy arrow. I am Jack Sparrow. It's the Black Pearl.
The Black Pearl. It's a great shout.
You get a better segue than that.
An excellent boat, mate, that. I will give you that.
Did you enjoy the segue?
I did enjoy the
Thank
segue.
you.
It shows your intelligence and your brilliant speed.
Without actually being intelligent or brilliant.
Well, that's up for debate.
Moving on. Black Pearl. Skeleton people?
Great.
Is it the Black Pearl that makes them skeletonized, or is it the gold curse? You take gold from a chest?
If you touch the treasure,
But
you get the curse.
but the
so
ship-
every time the moon goes on you, it shows your true self, which is just a fucking
But
skeleton.
the ship changes as well, does it not?
What's that fucking octopus do? Like, by the way, on a side note.
What?
with
Bill Nye? Bill
was
Nye? He's
with Davy Jones. Davy Jones' locker. That's when it went.
But I
tits
don't
up.
think that's his boat. Oh, was it originally his boat?
It might have been, but
All right.
I don't know.
Well done. But then
Right.
the guy at the King's Speech, I can't remember that actor's name.
Bill Nye.
No, not Bill Nye. The other guy who plays
Monkey
Monkey Man, the guy with the monkey on his thing.
That was King's Speech, by the way.
Well done.
Okay. Right, Pete, I'm going to hit you up with one.
Is it worth?
Space Shuttle, Interstellar.
Right, so hold on.
You can't have the blaming Falcon.
I'm going to 2 secs, people. I'm going to get the definition of what a board slash
Right,
ship is.
excuse me, there's a reason this is in the list. Because there's a full sequence where it's on water,
Oh shit, are you right?
and then you've got mountains in the background, so that's why it's on the list, mate.
Would you think the Millennium Falcon would land on water?
Did it ever land on water?
It
Sure,
landed
there's
on a
a cut-
big
there's a-
space worm.
There's a cutscene where, in the new...
No!
What?
Luke's X-Wing.
You can I'd probably give you
Luke's
Luke's
X-Wing in
No, it's
the
not-
Dagobah
no,
swamps.
no.
It goes into the water
It
so it
sinks.
doesn't float.
It's not a boat.
Oh no! There's a big plot hole in my whole
Yes.
argument. Anyway, you've chosen a spaceship.
Have you got any more or not? Or we're moving on?
Last one.
Okay.
The Nebuchadnezzar.
What? Out of fucking the Matrix?
The Matrix.
How's that a boat? It's another
an
spaceship.
electric boat. It goes.
It's a
wow.
spaceship.
No, it's not. It doesn't go through space. It goes through tunnels of death.
Aye, but there's no water.
Aye, but it's,
But you're
it's
missing
a boat.
the-
Ow.
But you're missing the point on
John,
this
it's a
top five.
spaceship
Like,
slash boat. It looks like a boat.
what's your favourite bit of the all Matrix films? Since you mentioned the Nebuchadnezzar,
My favourite bit of a Matrix film.
is it Tank dying?
It's when
Spoilers.
Neo. No, not that. It's when Neo kind of leg flips Mr. No, wait, I was going to say. What's
Well,
his
the
name?
fight at the end when he's fighting.
Aye,
Like,
but he goes into the
thousands
wall
of them.
and he doesn't just hit the wall. He makes like a crater.
right.
It's that practical fight at the end, which was the last hurrah for Matrix when they went off the rails in the
Okay.
second and third film. There you go.
I like the guy who's like eating the steak. That's my favourite.
Oh, yeah, it's a good little bit.
He's like, put me back in. Does that wrap it up, Pete?
That wraps up top 5 boats, which are actually spaceships in film.
As you are, people, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you think are the top boats in all of film history.
And
We haven't even mentioned Titanic.
I mean, that's it's sunk.
A James Cameron classic, Pete.
It's sunk, John.
You don't call James Cameron a hack director. Don't do it, Pete.
He is.
He's not.
He made Avatar
He made Aliens and he made
T2.
Titanic and he made T2.
and T.
He's
one.
not a hack director. He's unbelievable. We move on.
Well, he wants to make Avatar 8. How? Like, what type of person
They can't
does
even
that?
make another one. They can't even make a second Avatar. It's like being in production for like 10 years.
I don't understand though. Anyway, he's an alien man. How do he make T2? Nobody can describe how they made T2 effects
T2 is unbelievable. I can't wait for that to come out
in 3D.
in 3D.
I can't wait for it to come out in 3D and not go and watch it in
And-
3D and just go on Blu-ray it and
What,
in
and you
your
like
house.
it? No, we've got to go and
I don't
see
like
it in
3D.
I know you
It
don't.
fucks us up, John.
A talking cross
I think I've
point
got
is
vertigo.
a talking cross point is Beat will not go and see any film in 3D.
Nah, it's slightly grey, of a picture. It's a slightly duller picture.
Do you reckon?
And you can't see what's happening.
It is
'cause
pretty grainy, aye.
Your brain's trying to stay still. Like the fluid in your ears is going left and right.
I'd say it's pretty grainy, like.
It is, isn't it? It's grey, duller. Anyway,
Beat.
we're sidetracking.
Straight on to True or False Trivia.
Hit
The
my
fans'
ass.
favourite segment.
Brilliant.
Okay, Beat, straight away. After first-hand accounts of the Dunkirk evacuation revealed to Christopher Nolan how young and inexperienced the soldiers were, he decided to cast young and unknown actors for the beach setting.
True.
True.
Or slightly false.
He also mentioned that like he cast like thousands of kids, and he said like he put Harry Styles in with all them the casting,
unknown, I.
and said he just stood out. That's why he put him in there.
What?
For. Said Harry Styles stood out as an actor.
Oh, not as an actual just person.
No.
Like, he's famous as hell. He's not unknown.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He also had a bodyguard on at all times.
Joan,
in
aren't you?
film and I,
Why?
in case someone came and did him.
Really?
Aye.
To be... well, right, we'll get into it later on, but he was fine.
True or false, Bede?
True.
You're in. The movie used over 50 boats on the sea, the most that has ever been put on film.
False.
That's true.
There was literally not... There was 10 boats.
Apparently there was 50
There was
boats.
10 boats.
Again, we used the popular film website for the trivia.
Okay.
It says here, Bede.
I saw 10 boats.
Well, that's one of our points we're making. In the, like, there's meant to be like 800 ships.
Oh, shit.
I think we saw 15.
Full spoilers, by the way.
Full spoilers.
Spoilers, there's 10 boats in the film.
How can you spoil Dunkirk?
Or maybe 50.
All of our stuff's always spoilers.
How do you spoil Dunkirk?
You can't. Dunkirk's. You can't spoil Dunkirk.
You can.
There's one bit you can spoil.
You can spoil Dunkirk, like.
We'll keep that for later on. So you're saying true or false, Bede?
False?
Didn't I already tell you the answer? You've got it wrong twice.
I forgot. I was getting angry at myself.
Right.
I was getting angry at the film for not portraying more boats.
Next one, Bede. We're flying tonight, by the way. This is going
Right,
to
are
be
we?
20-minute podcast, people.
Hellish.
Christopher Nolan flew one of the Spitfires in the film. Along with being an adequate... Why does it say armed here?
Because you spelled it
I
wrong.
spelled farmer wrong. Along with being an adequate farmer...
Oh,
He's-
dear.
Along with being an adequate farmer, he is also an experienced pilot.
Right. Point A to this conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good farmer. We know this.
Mhm.
Previous Talk Grass episodes prove he planted weed filling fields.
What does weed do on an alien planet?
That's a good impression.
Cheers, mate.
But no, he can't fly Spitfires. He's Christopher Nolan.
He can't fly Spitfires, but he did have a few goes and wanted to be able to check out what it would be like when he was shooting the scenes.
So is that true or false?
That's false.
Brilliant.
You got that right.
Excellent.
Next one, B.
Hit me up.
The ticking sound that serves as a crucial theme on the film's score
Absolutely.
were recorded by composer Hans Zimmer from one of director Christopher Nolan's own pocket watches. He then put the sounds into synthesizers and altered them in different ways for the soundtrack.
True. That sounds Nolan-y.
That's true.
Nailed it.
So Hans Zimmer used one of Nolan's pocket watches to do the ticking sound.
That's
And
nice.
that leads us into the clock in the soundtrack doesn't stop ticking during the whole movie
I noticed that.
until Alex and Tommy are sitting safely on the train.
Ah.
Full spoilers.
Is that true or false trivia, or is that just
That's true or false trivia?
True?
Yeah, it's true.
I
So the ticking clock is constantly going throughout the
heard
film.
it,
I did as
He's
well.
used that in a couple of other films. 100%.
Interstellar. It's in Interstellar.
100% in Interstellar, because it's the time
Yeah.
spent of relativity.
hmm And obviously there's that big scene of the clock and the watch and the...
Oh, of course,
Yeah,
it's a whole
you're right.
theme. Also, the ship
But
looks
the theme is time.
Yes,
of Interstellar,
of
so
course.
that's where it's come from. It was yeah. We'll obviously talk about the soundtrack a bit more when we talk about the film,
like... Okay.
but we'll put spoiler tags and everything. Don't obviously listen to this if you haven't
Right,
seen the film, because I'm slightly hungover. It's pretty late, and I can't be bothered doing non-spoilers discussion. We're just gonna roll over
We've
it.
sat in wrong seats. We looked like the bad guys.
We looked like the bad guys for the first time in our life, Pete. How'd
But
that
you know,
feel?
bad people in life.
Mhm.
I live comfortably knowing that he's going to go to bed at night and go, man, I shouldn't have swore at them two lads.
Do you reckon?
Aye, 100%. It always gets you. It's
'Cause we
you-
didn't swear.
It's inbuilt guilt, unless he's a complete psychopath.
Mhm.
But he seems to have bought a cinema ticket and gone to see Dunkirk. So
They're
I
like-
don't think he's that much of a psychopath.
They're like sitting there like laughing.
I don't think it does.
I don't know. They just didn't feel any sense of like morality at all.
It always catches up with you. You
I
can't
agree with
escape it now.
I also agree with like good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people.
Everything comes round. I don't agree. I don't believe in fate.
I think maybe we
stupid
fucked
like
up somewhere along the line for that to happen to us.
No,
Do you reckon?
never. Nah,
We're getting pretty deep on this podcast.
we are,
now.
mate. It's Dunkirk, mate. It's a sad day.
It is. It's very sad. It's not an enjoyable one, really, is it?
To be fair,
It's real.
wait, we'll get into that later, right?
It's real.
It is too real.
Beat. Harry Styles auditioned for the part by singing in a dark tin shed while someone outside took a sledgehammer to it repeatedly. Nolan wanted to see how his natural reaction would be when under pressure of a war environment.
That sounds Nolan-y again, you know. I'm going through.
It's false. Why would he sing in a tin shed with someone sledgehammering the side of it?
Sing? I didn't hear the sing part out.
Yes.
I thought he was just producing some
Get
acting
in.
ability.
Get in, I got
Method
you.
acting.
I got you. Award.
Daniel Day-Lewis would do it.
Picture that. Close your eyes. Harry Styles singing a One Direction number.
Right.
While someone's smashing
right.
the side of a tin shed with a sledgehammer. And
You
Nolan-
don't know you.
Nolan's just in a director's chair. Right, B. The Wilhelm scream is heard early in the film when the sinking evacuation ship drifts back against the pier.
Can I do my impression?
Yeah. B, do you want to explain to the listeners what the Wilhelm scream is?
Well, it originated in a cowboy western. I'm pretty sure. I haven't researched this.
Mhm.
I'm going to say 1960s, 50s, where it was constantly used throughout the film
Yeah.
for the same death. Well, I think
was
scream.
it?
I think the scream was used constantly
Mhm.
throughout different deaths, but it was the same audio
Right,
cue.
yeah,
So every
yeah.
I think Native Indians. Obviously, it's Native Indians versus cowboys, and every Native Indian / cowboy is dying,
And then
they've got the same scream.
Did that get used in like different films?
And it became
a bit of a cult.
a cultural thing
So,
in film.
so now, just directors use it just for to see
it's the biggest.
just to see they've got the Wilhelm scream in.
I think it's the biggest Easter egg in cinema history.
So people just
It's
do,
used in every
so
film.
Directors just do it for a laugh, really.
I mean, I couldn't name a Spielberg film it's not in. 100%.
Okay. Beat, that wraps it up, son.
Excellent.
And we can go straight into the film discussion
Oh,
now.
true, by the way, that was true.
yeah, that was true. Sorry, yeah.
I heard it in the film.
So as we go, film discussion. Full spoilers, people. We're not doing non-spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the film, turn off.
Even though we spoiled it previously.
We have pretty much spoiled it since moment one of this podcast. So all I'm going to hit you with is, Beat, you've got pros and cons, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I've got a few points down. So Beat, you go first. Here's your pros and cons.
Straight up.
And then what we'll do is I'll throw any discussion I've got.
Excellent.
So do you want to go one pro and then one con? Or do you want to do full pros and then cons?
Better do full pros and then full cons.
Right, okay, go go with the pros, Beat.
First pro, Kenneth Branagh. Back again.
Kenneth Branagh.
So, where's he been all this time, John?
Is Kenneth Branagh the guy who's on the tugboat? He's in charge of the tugboat?
Yes, he's
What a-
Captain.
What a legend.
I called him Captain Dunkirk
My
before the movie
my
started.
my favourite person. Apparently, right,
Right.
I read in somewhere on the trivia that he's meant to be playing a guy
Right.
who was the skipper of the Titanic, the captain of the Titanic ship,
What?
and he went back and helped in Dunkirk by using like a pleasure boat, like a.
A pleasure boat?
That's what they're called.
Really?
Aye. True or false? No, I'm telling you that. Something like
All I can see
he
is
came back-
Moulin Rouge
he-
taking part on a boat, John.
He like Mississippi water.
Aye.
Like, yeah.
Who rocked the boat out?
I'm telling you, that's a bit of trivia. The guy who's in charge of the Titanic. Actually, no, didn't the guy with the ship go down with the Titanic?
Yeah, I mean, he
And
did in the film.
Beat
James Cameron, John, he's a
wait
hack.
there, wait there, Beat. I'm gonna find this bit of trivia.
Sorry, so did
You
the
just
Titanic sink? I'm gonna fill the time. Did the
Fill the
Titanic
time
sink
while I'm trying
after?
to find this, because this is definitely a bit of trivia that I need to find here.
So the Titanic would have had to sank before World War II, correct?
Yes, which it did.
So Leonardo DiCaprio at the age of, how old was he when that sank? 20.
Wait,
I'm joking. I'm joking, man.
Oh, right, okay.
Wait, what's the guy called? Billy Zane. So Billy Zane was filming
Billy Zane.
He was
Whatever happened to Billy Zane?
Billy
by
Zane
the
was
way?
filming The Mummy. He was Imhotep at the time, and then Titanic went down, and then he couldn't make The Mummy 2.
Whatever happened? Whatever happened to
What happened to Billy Zane?
Billy Zane?
I don't know. He made enough money off the Titanic to just live life happily. Not to disparage the people who horribly died on the Titanic, but you know, it's all fun and that, isn't it? Fun and games.
It's all fun and games on the Titanic, mate. So he's the bit of trivia. Charles Lightoller, the senior surviving officer of the RMS Titanic, participated in the Dunkirk evacuation with his private motor yacht, the Sundowner.
What? It was got the Sundowner.
The Sundowner has been preserved by the Ramsgate Maritime Museum in England. So there you go, the person who survived the RMS Titanic.
What a hero!
There you go. Came back into it, Dunkirk and on now.
These people. These
True heroes.
These are the people we need to.
True heroes, mate.
Like he had a last name. He was called Lightoller, man. Captain Lightoller, Commander Lightoller.
So
what a legend.
What's getting back?
Born in Lancaster.
Getting back to your points, mate.
Lancashire, sorry.
Getting back to your points, mate.
Getting back to my point, sorry. Kenneth Branagh threw us off one. Kenneth Branagh's a legend.
I love the bit when he describes the
Horton.
Spitfires.
I love that line where it was like,
George. It's a
what? That's not Kenneth Branagh.
It's a Rolls Royce engine.
That's not Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, is it not?
No, that's the guy with Spielberg's
I was going to say who's that? He's
Bridge
the
of
name,
Spies and BFG. I think he played. I could be wrong. Kenneth Branagh's the goddamn captain.
The captain on the end of the pier.
Yes.
Right.
How do you not know who Kenneth Branagh is?
I don't know.
The guy with basically the line I like. It's like you can just see it from here.
Is that the guy who's crying?
Yes.
At the end, right? I get it.
He's like, you can just see it from here. See what? Home.
Boom.
My goodness.
Right, who's the guy who's on the boat? 'Cause that's who I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure
He's a
he
legend.
mocapped the BFG, and he also was the Russian spy in A Bridge of Spies.
B, can I hit you with something that I didn't like in this? There was meant to be 800 ships. There was more like 40.
Oh, so we're going on to cons. Are you fleeting in and out?
If you mention something that I want to speak about, then I'm going to, you know what I mean?
Go for it. Hit us with it.
There you go. There's meant to be 800 ships. There's about 40.
You said there was meant to be 50 filmed. I saw 10.
Well, there you go. But what I will say, B, is people complained. A historian who watched the film complained because he said that there was like 2 big navy ships in there.
Right, destroyers.
There was like 41 minimum.
Were there?
Yeah, that were coming in and out over 7 days.
Well, it makes it look more
And
perilous, doesn't it?
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Is that okay though? That's not disrespectful. That's to obviously create more tension, I suppose. So I mean, like, I'm okay with that. Am I?
Yeah.
I don't know. What I will say is, this is a point I was going to bring in relation to the ships.
okay.
Where is it? In the story that follows the bravery of civilian ships, we follow only one,
Right.
being BFG man.
BFG, man.
Where-
I loved him.
Where there was many civilian
George.
ships and fun stories, I believe.
George, that's the sound of Spitfires. The greatest engine ever made. Rolls Royce.
I'll be useful, sir. We're going to war, George.
I liked that. That was one of the only
Characters,
character development in the film.
dialogue.
And you actually fell for him, you know what I mean?
But I've got a couple of more points on that later, so we'll pick up
Okay,
on
yeah,
that
we'll pick
later.
on it. Okay.
Do you want my next pro, John?
You go, mate.
It's Nolan film.
Mhm.
Here it comes. Cinematography.
Very, very good. All shot. 70% of the film was shot in IMAX.
Lovely. 70%.
70% was shot in IMAX. And the nearly lost an IMAX camera. You know when they had the IMAX camera strapped to that Spitfire that went down into the sea,
Yes.
and it sank too quickly because they didn't take in the weight of the IMAX camera.
No
So
way.
they nearly lost it. And how much is an IMAX camera worth?
I do not
It's
know.
like 200 grand, something stupid like that. I'm sure.
200 grand. It's got to be more than it.
I think it is. It's somewhat daft, like a lot of money.
Now we're going to give him a lot of money. Well, everything was lovely, nice and crisp.
People are calling it minimalistic beat.
Some could say that, but
Very.
it's just like Nolan to strap an IMAX camera onto the side of a goddamn Spitfire. If you go into them distances,
on anything.
you're in my alley.
He straps an IMAX camera on anything.
Horses.
Absolutely anything.
He's
that
going to
can take-
remake Blazing Saddles. He's
Any-
going out on the back of a horse.
Anything that can take an IMAX camera gets strapped on.
Or it sinks too
Tom
quickly.
Hardy's back.
Tom Hardy was raised by IMAX cameras. He was bench pressing them at the age of 10. Oh, can we get on that quickly?
Come on then.
What German? What army in the right mind puts Tom Hardy in a plane? You put him on the beaches of Normandy. He's taking the full beach by himself. He looks like Duke Nukem
Only if
on
he's been jacked
steroids.
enough to like play Bane, and then maybe because he goes from being like fat to being jacked, doesn't he? Like in between things.
If you want to call Tom Hardy fat, be
He's
my
like a
guest now.
potato man.
If that gets to him,
I know.
you signed your own death warrant.
I ain't saying that.
Alright? Tom Hardy, I love you. I've always liked you. You may be a bit fat though. Wait, no, I'm joking. Moving on.
Do you think everything I've got down here are pretty much just cons? So you say
Right,
that.
right. Well,
we're
we're getting on to them. They're nice and tasty, John. Nobody likes positive films.
Yeah, right. Let's go.
Next point. Tone. Consistent all the way through.
Dark, realistic.
Very serious. It has to be when we're talking about the deaths of many British and French and German soldiers. And probably some American.
Very dark. Very shot darkly.
It had to be. Not dark as in you couldn't see out.
Grey.
Metaphorically speaking. So it didn't switch tone as in there was a joke just hiding, just daft us out.
Yeah,
if there was a little bit of humour, it was very dancing the line.
Yeah.
Next point. Practicality. I think we spoke about that with attaching
Very good, but
the camera at the side of a plane.
There was 150 million budget beat. That was one of my points I picked up on.
Right.
Did it look like a 150 million budget film to you?
Not
Because
at all.
It was very practical. Again, it's like he's obviously spent the money on the camera work
Right.
and the sets and the boats,
Yes.
but he's done it in a way where there's like 300 people on the beach, probably more, but it
Yeah.
looks like there's like 300 people, little 1,000 people lined up.
Right.
There's 330,000 people got saved in 7 days.
Right.
It just didn't equate like when I was watching the film.
No, not at all. So budget-wise, does IMAX film reel cost loads?
Maybe.
Or is it
What's
the challenge
beat?
of practically capturing everything?
What's the thing about IMAX? What's the difference between a normal camera and an IMAX camera?
It makes the
Is it just
screen
wideness?
taller and wider.
Right.
It's better resolution as well.
Ah,
So it's a crisper
hold
image.
on. There wasn't any black, was there?
No.
It was a full screen. Is that
Ah,
an
of
IMAX
course,
film?
but it's also crisper. Imagine the resolution of 1080p on a gaming console.
Yes.
That's like 4K.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Some films annoyingly switch halfway through. Like they'll only film certain scenes in IMAX.
Did
Dark Knight did it.
The Dark Knight did
Rise, and it's so distracting when you go from black lines to full screen, then
Aye.
back to black
What's
lines.
that all about? Like?
It's so distracting, mate. It's switching from IMAX scenes.
There you go.
So it's a bit annoying. But this film, obviously, 70%. Did you say?
70% IMAX.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So whether that's the main cost, I don't know. Whether it cost Tom Hardy to get put into a little Spitfire and hide on the back of a truck to tilt around. Maybe that's the bulk of the money. Who
Strap it to a
knows?
horse's arse.
Maybe it's Kenneth Branagh's haircut. I don't know. Next point.
Next point, mate.
Sound design, but that's got a but on the end, which we'll talk in cons.
Sound design.
Sound design, Spitfires, terrifying whirs of the engines.
Did you know that German Luftwaffe? It's not the engine noise. You know when it goes.
Aye.
When it dives.
Dives.
It's not the engine.
What is it?
It's called the trumpet
Oh.
in German.
Yeah.
And what they did for propaganda, they put these like on where the wheels come down on the bottom of the nose of the plane.
Yes, landing gear.
A little trumpet type thing. So when
Really?
it dived, it made that noise.
No, you so you'd hear it coming.
Yes, to scare the troops.
That's terrifying.
So that's where the Luftwaffe dive bomb noise comes from.
That's unbelievable. I love interesting stuff like that. But as I say, keep it on that. Gunfire, like whistling past your ears.
I've got something down here, Beat. It was very, very loud.
That's the but I've put on the end of that.
I know, because this is where we can go in between pros and cons. If there's a con to talk about, we'll talk about it in one piece.
Yes.
I enjoyed how immersed I was in it.
Yeah.
And it made us jump a few times when shots went off.
Uh huh.
But I just felt it was bloody loud. Like really,
was?
really loud.
Is that
Like too loud.
is that the projectionist again? Oh, is that the film? That's two Nolan
No,
films. Interstellar hit us up with a lot
Interstellar
of
as well.
shit. No.
You've got fucking Hans Zimmer in the background, and then you've got BAM, BAM, BAM. And I was like, what the shit's going on here?
So that's got to be
I was
purposeful.
like freaking out.
It's got to be purposeful, obviously, to affect you, to shock you, to immerse you in this horrendous environment.
Okay.
But that doesn't change the fact that it's annoying because it's bursting me goddamn eardrums. And I'm still in a cinema.
The lass next to you hit the roof when that first gun
It
went
was the
off.
first jump. By the way, anybody going to see the film that's listening in spoilers? In the first 5 minutes, this guy goes to pick a cigarette out of a window, and a goddamn bullet whistles past. And there's lads next to us.
But it's not a bullet, it's a cannonball. Guns off like Captain Jack Sparrow holding a cannonball on.
On the Black Pearl. This girl was sitting on an airbag out. Honestly, it was ridiculous. Anyway,
Jettison sell out of a fucking Spitfire.
Absolutely. So I love the sound design, but it was very loud.
I agree.
Last point.
While we're on Soundbeat,
Yes.
what do you think of Hans Zimmer's soundtrack?
Great point. Obviously,
Because we are in Hans Zimmer, we trust.
huge.
If you've listened to a few of the podcasts, you know how much we enjoy Hans Zimmer.
well, the best.
Not just the point of watching a film, we've actually got them on the iPods and stuff
we're
like
in
that.
there every night. Helps it soothes us like a baby.
In the gym.
You put Hans Zimmer on in the gym, you will work an extra 5 minutes.
There you go.
Even if you don't have any lungs. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
In this film, very subtle.
It took a back seat, didn't it?
No main theme, I would say.
Interstellar, it was the film.
Absolutely.
Inception, again, film.
Yes.
Dark Knight makes a lot of the scenes. In this, it was very much a backseat role,
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's
subtle.
Do you know, like when we left in Inception and Time, and what a lovely scene that was, and what a song.
Yeah.
We're like, what a song that
Emotionally
is.
adds to it.
In this film, I can't really remember. The only one I remember is right at the end. I think it's the last song that plays before like everyone chills out. When everyone's shit's hitting the fan.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was pretty much forgettable for me. Like. But I think, like what you said, you made a point.
Again, do you think
purposeful?
it's purposeful? It's a void.
Yeah.
Something. It lacks that emotion of something beautiful like music.
And it does have the crescendo building up constantly, like he always does.
Yes, like the
As
clicking
the
of the
time's
clock.
ticking.
Clicking of the clock.
So
Ticking of the
ticking
clock.
of the clock. So,
But,
like I say, I do like that, but it very much takes a back seat in this film.
Yeah, because this is. I suppose Nolan's trying to say this isn't a place for music or emotional music. It's a place to see
realism, mate.
what happened to these British men and civilians
I
that
agree,
saved
mate.
them.
Absolute realism.
And that is the end of the pros.
Only cons, mate.
Moving on to the cons. Non-linear story.
Right.
What point did it serve?
So this is
That's a question. I'm not saying maybe it's not a proper bad point, but I'm asking you, what point did the non-linear story serve other than it being a Christopher Nolan quirk?
Do you know the Dunkirk like title?
Yes.
It's dark blue, light blue, and like brown, I think, or something like that.
Like the sea?
Or orange.
Yes.
And it's meant to be land, sea, and air.
Like the three main narratives
That's
of the
why
story.
the Dunkirk title, like on all the posters,
I like that.
is like that.
That's a great little
Again, like
history,
the triptych story of where you've got.
Is that what's called triptych?
Yeah.
Nice, I like that, Joe.
It's where you've got
free running narratives that intersect.
So you've got land,
Yep.
sea, air.
Which are all
each
at
had their own
different
story,
times.
and the time was jumping about. And we said this, didn't we? This is Nolan. This is Nolan's spin on it.
Yes.
Did it need to be there, beat?
What purpose does it serve for being out of its linear structure?
Just to be able to call it Nolan film, mate.
So you saw right. So I suppose the purpose it serves is you saw boats in one storyline which had been blown up. In the next storyline, you saw how they were going to be blown up. So you
and
know
how the BFG saved everyone out.
You knew something bad was going to happen to the group later on in their storyline.
As the film went on, beat.
Yes.
Did the time start getting shorter, like the cuts to each?
It did. So
you went from long scenes.
Yes.
And then it was getting shorter and shorter and shorter until all of them came together.
Like Inception, those in the lowest level of the dream obviously the lower the dream, the longer time goes for.
Mhm.
So you spend the proportionate amount of time with a character in that level
Mhm.
to how long this should be. So say you are asleep for, in dream level 1, this is a bit complicated. Dream level 1, it's 5 minutes to every 1 second.
Yes.
So you spend 5 minutes in that scene. Level 2 gets 50 minutes.
Mhm.
Level, you know what I mean? So
I do know what you mean.
it's like a triangle. So you go level 3 gets this amount of time, and then it gets shorter and shorter.
Mhm.
Which is a very clever way of doing it.
Mhm.
I think that's a great purpose for having that non-linear
So
storytelling.
have we turned a con into a pro there or not?
That's for Inception, not Dunkirk.
Okay.
I like that. I do like that, but
I thought it was a good little.
whether it serves
thought it
more
was a good
purpose
little
being quirky, I don't know.
I thought it was a good spin on it. You think they could have just done a generic?
Not generic. Generic makes it sound negative.
Mm,
More just linear. You know what I mean?
just linear.
Yeah. I just think it's been thrown in there just for Nolan effect.
Mhm.
Because it's got no artistic license to take it anywhere other than they get away. You know
Right,
what I
yeah.
mean? They can't do anything other than that, so he has to make some creative way of telling the story by using 3 different perspectives.
Right.
Moving on. So it's not really a con, just an interesting one.
What's your next con, Pete?
Characters,
Mm-hmm.
or lack thereof, couldn't identify with someone, understand why this was not the focus of the film, but I personally still found it difficult.
This is what was missing from this film. Now, this film's got rave reviews,
Yes.
and I can understand the realism.
Yeah.
Very minimalistic.
Yeah.
There's a word for you. Cutting out all the bullshit, really.
Yeah.
Just a standard. This is real war.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But it's a film.
Uh-huh.
You go to the movies, you go to be entertained, and even though it's a war film, you want to be entertained. Were you entertained watching this beat or not?
I don't know if the goal was to entertain.
It was
so-
more like, it felt like a documentary.
Yes.
But Peter's comparing it to Saving Private Ryan.
Are there really?
Yes.
Are there really?
Yes. I'm not gonna let you argue that point.
That's very.
People are saying that.
That's
People
very
say-
Let's Go America, Band of
People
Brothers.
Well, people are saying this is the best war film since Saving Private Ryan, and they're trying to draw some similarities into it.
I don't know if I agree about that.
For me, Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan is my favourite war film of all time,
Right.
and I much preferred it to this.
Hmm.
Purely because what we're talking about, characters.
Right.
Was I bothered if Harry Styles made it? No, not really.
Not because he's just Harry Styles. He was quite. I thought he was
He
convincing
was fine.
in this
He was
film.
fine. Look, I'm not gonna.
And I wasn't distracted too much by him.
No, he was fine.
Unlike Ed Sheeran in Game of Thrones.
Unlike Ed Sheeran's Game of Thrones.
But he didn't.
Also beat the main character.
Yes.
There is a main character, and it was the guy we start the story with.
Does he have a name?
Very bland.
Doesn't have a name.
He's got yes, he has got a name in it.
A
mate.
character name.
Yeah. I'll find it, yeah.
Points
So,
on him. I
Tommy,
like
he's called Tommy.
Tommy.
Fionn Whitehead. It's his first role.
Just like you were saying, he cast young people.
Mhm.
I like the emotion he portrayed on his face, but there's only so much you can do. I needed more dialogue from him to feel, you know what I mean,
Like
a
a little bit
bigger
witty,
connection.
a little bit of a laugh.
I don't know about that. Just the
The
more you know about a person, the more a character, the more you feel with them, the more you kind of project yourself into that position. You know what I mean? And it was lacking a bit in that sense.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's character is just a man in a plane, like with a leather mask on his face.
It could have been anyone.
It really could have.
Apparently, Michael Caine was in the other. You know, it was the 3
The
Spitfires
third commander
star.
who died
Apparently,
straight
it's Michael
away.
Caine, and he was also in
That's
a
unreal.
World War II film before, as a Spitfire pilot, and I can't remember which one.
Was he?
Yep.
Oh, the Italian job.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly
Oh,
it.
brilliant.
By the way, going back to the point, it's called the Jericho trumpet beat.
The Jericho trumpet.
That's what it's called,
Wow,
the Jericho
that's
trumpet
biblical,
on
that.
Luftwaffe. But they were only on Junkers Ju-87 Stuka dive bombers. So
Also, the only ones that were attacking the ground.
yeah, where
Wow.
every German plane had them. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
that stuff. It's not just manufacturing better guns. It's like mental warfare.
mental
I
things.
love that stuff. That's very
When you hear that
interesting.
coming towards you, and imagine
You're
you're on
shitting
you're on a
pants.
beach.
You'd break rank, wouldn't you?
Mhm. That's what it's for.
Very interesting. So next point.
Mhm.
Where are we at? Or the purpose I was just saying the reason maybe Nolan didn't use more dialogue, it was more so just to reflect the group efforts of maybe the civilian boats. Maybe they were the focus, and less of individuals.
So the boats were the heroes, not the soldiers.
I suppose so.
Because the soldiers were like many times saying, "Oh, we're going to be hated when we come back home. We've failed."
Yes.
When in reality, they were
heroes. Absolutely. One thing I wanted to point out, John.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the civilian boats were getting requisitioned by the Navy?
Okay, mate, yeah.
And we've got BFG guy.
What a hero, by the way.
And he looks back and he sees Navy people, Navy commanders are going on the civilian boats to use them. And he's like, he nicks off because he doesn't want Navy boats using his boat.
And then it turns up that
it's just all civilians?
It's all civilians.
So were the Navy requisitioning the boats? Why did he sneak off if he was going to be let back on?
I think that's a bit of a plot hole, mate.
Is it?
Obviously, I think you can go and help your country if you want to.
Yes.
But the majority of people on them boats should have been the Navy.
Right.
I think.
But we didn't see one. Again,
especially in the end a bit, it was all bloody
civilians.
Kenneth
Branagh's like, "Hey, where are you from? Suffolk," and that stuff like that, which was alright. Next point.
Mm-hmm.
Too loud. We've picked up on that.
We've mentioned that, mate.
In a story that follows the bravery of civilian ships, we follow only one. I would have liked to seen more BFGs, more stories of the BFGs. That's what I mean when I said less of a non-linear narrative. Maybe just follow stories of
the boats,
of each civilian boat trying to take people back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Biggest point of the film here, 12+. That's all I need to say.
Right.
It's a big talking point, people.
This is our main talking point.
And it is.
I don't know how you can make a war film be.
Yep.
And make it 12A. And I think this is where the film struggles.
Yes.
Because it is gritty. And it does very well in depicting the realism of war.
Consistently tonally very emotional.
But it was so strange seeing a war film with no blood.
Yes.
So strange.
Dismemberment. Wounds.
It was a massive problem.
Gashes.
Now, why is this? Is this again just to hit the audience for money? That's what it's for, isn't it?
It could be that. I feel from Nolan's perspective, any production or studio will give him money to make a film anyway, so it's not about that. Obviously, the main objective of a movie nowadays is to make money, but I feel it's to portray to the youngest of what the efforts of a war hero did.
Yeah, so he's trying to be able to hit everyone.
To capture the younger audience, to explain these stories to a wide audience as possible in Britain.
That's fair.
To make it known. Or you could go down the other route from a different perspective and say, yep, they wanted more money. Obviously, it's a what's the word where a win-win for both production company and Nolan.
Just
artistically
going through the pros and cons, and there's more pros and cons doing it that way.
But that's my opinion. I feel it's to reach a wider audience, to tell the story of these people.
Mm-hmm.
But to make my point, I felt distracted by the lack of blood. I know it's wrong that I'm hungering for the blood of British soldiers, but I just
it's not wrong
feel
at all, because if you attack a film, it is unrealistic. Because if you attack a film this deep,
yes, and real,
it kind of takes away from the realness not being like that.
And it's more horrifying and terrifying of what these people went through.
Yes,
by seeing people with guts
you go to
and legs.
You go to a cinema to be shocked.
Yeah.
And that's what it would have been like. There's bombs coming down. There'd have been legs and stuff on the beach.
Saving Private Ryan, when there's just bodies floating.
Mate, there you go. Again, my favourite war film, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes. Tremendous. Omaha.
Best.
It's just mulch, isn't it?
Best opening 10 minutes of any film I've ever seen. And I'd like you to argue that point.
Good point. I want to make the point.
I don't want to stray on to Saving Private Ryan.
No.
We might do that, to be fair. We might do it.
We'll do Saving Private one day. I mean, Spielberg one's the best. I just want to make the point that how lucky are we not to be born in a fucking wartime era where conscription was legal.
It's amazing.
What a shitty fucking position to be in.
What they went through, and you've got to understand what they went through to get us in a position where we are now.
I'm sitting around watching Game of Thrones on my fucking couch, like, and these fuckers at 16, 17,
we're podcasting like goddamn gods.
We're getting shot at like fucking dogs and rats in a fucking tin can.
I think it's just
rats as well, like.
And it's massive that these films keep coming out, so it doesn't get lost.
I suppose so.
It doesn't get lost what they fought for. They fought for us being able to do whatever we wanted to do.
That they did.
And have freedom.
Good point to make. no German soldiers' perspective shown.
There was no German soldiers in the film, bar a little blurry bit at the end when they first turned up.
Right. I think
There's a.
I think it's
there
a
was
common.
which is again strange.
It's obviously
all you saw
the
was
focus.
the Luftwaffe.
I keep on talking about the focus of
Mhm.
the British story, but not all Germans were Nazis. Some were obviously brainwashed into thinking Jewish people were inferior,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously having extreme right views.
Mm-hmm.
But some Germans were just young kids drafted into war.
Oh, definitely.
Just like any British soldier.
They're always portrayed as the villains, but you've got to think
And it's fun to kill Nazis.
they're fighting.
Just like
They're
any
fighting
other
because
person.
they've got to.
yes,
They're fighting for
absolutely.
themselves.
Yeah.
There's good and there's bad in everyone. We see that a few times on this podcast.
The banality of evil, mate.
There you go, mate.
But last point.
Mate, it's getting deep. I think
It
this
is,
is the
mate. It's
deepest
not a
point.
nice episode. It's
It-
not a nice film
we-
to watch, really.
You can't go and see this film and we can't have a laughy jokey episode, I don't think.
Nah, because people died.
And it's just the realism, the depiction of war.
That's it, mate. Last
Mm.
point.
Yeah, mate. Now I'll run through a few of mine.
Shackled by its necessity to stay true to the people that died that day. So, I love
I like
fiction.
that.
Cheers,
It's a
mate.
good point, that, mate.
I love fiction. I was hoping there was going to be a Nolan twist.
Mhm.
What I said to John a long time ago was, when I first saw the trailer, they're going to do an alternative reality where Nazis
I would
won
imagine that.
and they wiped out the 400,000.
Imagine that.
But then I realised instantly after, that's a terrible idea
'Cause
because
you
it's
can't
really
dis-
insensitive to
and you can't
the
disrespect
brave
soldiers
soldiers
like
that.
that.
lived through that. So I was like, so I think that's a problem with the
And
film.
I'm sure there's a Movies 24B movie done
Of
that.
course there is.
Actually, Man in the High Castle, isn't that what that's based on?
Yes, but it's not Dunkirk.
No.
You know what I mean? It's obviously just a vague German area. Although
Yeah.
it's got the Liberties new Wolfenstein game coming out. I can't wait
Wolfenstein,
to play
I'm
play
gonna have a
that.
game of that, like.
Unreal. Anyway, getting sidetracked.
Mhm.
It can't stray from the story of Dunkirk,
Right.
or it'll be labelled as insensitive.
Yep.
And I don't like that. I love me
Yeah.
fiction. And that's not the film's fault. It's not Nolan's fault. It's just my personal preference. That's all my points, John.
2 points? Well, I've only got a couple.
Yeah.
So there was 300,000 people saved over the course of like 7-8 days.
Yeah.
We saw
7 or 8 days.
We saw 1,000 max on that beach.
Probably, yeah. Great, but all extras. I love that.
And
But-
there were, no one said it's a mixture of extras and cardboard cutouts.
No way!
Aye.
Use cardboard cutouts.
He did, mate, aye.
I love that. That's so good. Just like,
Absolutely.
have you seen Star Wars Episode 1?
Yeah.
Sorry, fuck. Episode 4. I always say that.
Right.
You know,
a
the
new,
end-
a new hope.
A New Hope. You know when Luke gets the medal around his
Mhm.
neck? There's like 3 rows of soldiers, and then the rest are just cardboard cutouts
Aye.
now. But you can't see anymore because Lucas changed the.
No way.
Aye, so you see, it looks better. It's a better change for the film. I just like it because it's fun because you can obviously tell the
That's
cardboard.
class.
Well, not anymore. You can't. So you'd have to go on YouTube. We might link that.
Film, mate.
We might link that.
And also, Peter said, they were like sitting ducks.
Right.
Would they really wait on the middle of the beach like that?
Again.
Apparently, I was speaking to like obviously someone who's well clued up on like this.
Someone
And
who has a master's.
he hated the film because he knew exactly what went on. Do
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And he said like obviously you've got to depict it to a certain point of a film's point of view.
Yes.
But like you're saying, the Luftwaffe aircrafts were better in the skies than
Spitfires.
Spitfires.
Were
I
they?
think. I'm not sure.
I've always heard Spitfires are hailed. Obviously, I'm British, so I'm probably biased. I've
What do you
always
think-
heard Spitfires hailed as the best.
That might be that might be totally wrong there, but I
Okay.
didn't know. Spitfire's guns only last for 14 seconds. The ammo
14 seconds.
14
of
seconds. Goddamn Tom Hardy was firing for 40 minutes out.
he does. He does.
40 minutes.
He does.
And then, when he ran out of fuel, he was flying the aircraft for 30 minutes without fuel.
Did
I'm pretty sure if them rotors stop, you're going down like. You can also not land on a beach like that.
Can you not?
It's impossible
Is it
in
really hard to
Spitfire.
do?
It's impossible, you can't do
Okay,
it.
okay. I really
You
enjoyed.
you would crash land.
Right. I enjoyed that when it was
He's
Wait,
like, he's like the bell ringer. You know the bell ringer? I'm going to link that. He was like,
crank that handbrake.
If I want to see the bell ringer
That
on
was
YouTube.
funny.
But that's getting cranked.
I love the I use it every episode. The juxtaposition of the plane engine where he's completely silent going across the soldiers because he's got no. I
Yes.
love that shot. But
But the soldiers were all like applauding him.
Yeah.
But then it contradicted itself because they hate the RAF because they thought they'd let them down.
It was that the mentality
when
of
really what was happening was they were fighting inland.
Right.
So they didn't see them.
Right. Of
And
course.
they were in dogfights inland.
They were
and
stopping
they stopped a
fighters
hell of a lot
coming.
of fighters coming.
Right.
But they were like the people on the ground because obviously they're getting bombed by the odds.
You could easily understand from that perspective.
From that perspective, you could.
But
why would they clap if
they thought that?
Yes.
Because they've got their first piece of evidence. They actually saw him shoot him down.
What else have I got here?
So why you the point you
I
were making?
mentioned the sitting ducks bit.
Yes.
All lined up on the beach.
Where they would be diving in dunes.
They would be in dune banks, so they would be in the I don't know. They wouldn't be lying on the beach asleep.
Again, it's to show how helpless the situation was and build tension to help the audience understand of what environment this is.
And I've just got I didn't like the lack of dialogue. Again,
we picked on
that leads to likeable characters.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that.
Mhm.
So that pretty much wraps it up.
That's as good as we can do.
We've absolutely battered it there, to be fair.
I know.
So, but I don't think it is. There's always going to be more cons because it's more interesting to talk about the cons than what it is talking about the pros.
It is.
Unless a film really strikes us.
Another point to make, I regard Nolan to such a high esteem. He can't make films good anymore for us because they've got to be the best, you know what I mean?
So we'll go straight into ratings, mate.
Right.
I love Nolan. I enjoy how he's took this project on.
Uh-huh.
I think the film in its entirety was shot perfectly.
Yes.
Minimalistic film. All shot on IMAX, 70% of it.
Cool.
Scenes of class.
Yeah.
We made a point about it being very, very loud.
Uh-huh.
But maybe you're right in the depiction of war. That's going to happen. You were immersed. I felt immersed when I was watching it.
Other than there being no blood.
Other than being no blood, I was immersed in it.
Yeah.
It's definitely got weaknesses.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely got plot holes in what would really have been going on.
Right.
The major thing I didn't like was the lack of character development.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing for me.
That's the biggest thing, and that's why I can't class it as better than Saving Private Ryan.
Right.
For me, I don't think it's anywhere near Saving Private Ryan.
Mm.
And a lot of people are panners for saying that, by the way.
The difference is it's popcorny, I'd say, as in that band of troops go through like 5 different pros taking out every film.
I'm gonna have the flak jacket heavily on here.
Right.
But I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Right.
For me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's me just being a bit snobbish because I go to maybe if I knew what I was going to see, it was a very real depiction of war.
Right.
But not given likeable characters and not given much dialogue.
Right. And
not having a major enemy that you're always seeing.
Right.
Kind of threw us off the trail a little bit.
That's a good point. We didn't even pick up on that. That's a great point. There's no.
So for me, beat it 6 out of 10.
There's no lead.
I'll move on to you. What do you think?
I like that. So moving off your points there. There's no lead antagonist. It's just the Germans.
Just German planes. It's planes. You don't see an antagonist.
And it's hard to identify your anger or hopes into your protagonist and antagonist to put yourself more in that situation. It's harder when there's nothing there.
Yeah.
All the acting jobs, other than there was lack of dialogue, they did a great job. Sound design again, I picked up on. I enjoyed a lot.
What do you think of Harry Styles, babe?
Absolutely fine.
I thought he was fine.
Didn't distract us.
No, I thought he was fine.
Played it very seriously. I like the fact he wasn't depicted in a good light. He was trying to hide that French soldier out.
That's pretty cool. Like.
Very real. You would expect that panic in that situation. But overall, I thought it was a good film. Lack of music. I don't know.
Hans Zimmer score let you down?
I did. It was too subtle. So I'm going 6 out of 10. That's good for me, which is fine.
That's fine. It's a good war film.
I think my expectations were way too high for Nolan.
If you listen to the first episode, you know what our ratings are like.
And
that's why we've got a hell of a lot of 7 out of 10s because 8 out of 10 territory is excellent film.
Yeah.
9 out of 10, one of the best we've seen.
Yeah.
Don't think well, you can probably count on one hand how many 10 out of 10s there is.
Uh-huh. But the other point I was going to make was the last point. The fact that it's just you can't go really fictitious with it and have sea monsters and have Nazis winning. That's the biggest problem. The problem's with me, really. It's too truthful. It's too faithful to Dunkirk, in my opinion. And that's me final rating. 6 out of 10. So 6 out of 10 overall. That's sad, really, for such a great film, but we just didn't enjoy it as much as we thought.
Yeah. So from talking Crass to 6 out of 10. So it's been beaten by
Predator. See,
Predator.
That sounds wrong. The fact that
I think we need to change the rating system here because
it might get scrapped one day.
I think we're scrapped from now. We've done 10 episodes. It's our 11th. Should we come up with a new rating system right now, Bede? Are you still happy doing? Are you still happy doing the 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I'm happy with.
Because we could.
Is that not funny?
We could go.
Is that not funny? Because we're
horrible,
back.
goddamn great, horrible, bang average, goddamn great,
Poddamn great,
masterpiece.
What?
Master Crass.
No.
Master Crass as in master class.
I don't like it.
Oh, it's unreal, lad. So we'll go horrible.
Not horrible.
Average.
Not good.
Horrible, bang average. What was the other one?
CRASStopher.
No,
Master
Master Crass was the best.
Right. CRASStopher.
Goddamn good. Horrible, average, goddamn good. Master Crass.
I want to keep
this. Mate, this can be goddamn good.
I want to keep the 10 scale because we can look back and we'd be called out on how wrong we are about films. I think that's pretty funny.
I do.
Because we'll give Avatar 8 like a 7 out of 10.
And it'll beat this, which is a massively better film.
Yeah. So
I'd know.
I'll say we keep truthful to it and just get called out on it later on and just be exposed for the film hacks we are.
Goddamn great film.
It was a good film.
Good film.
A 6 out of 10 isn't a bad score. But it's been beaten by Predator.
Okay.
Which I'd rather watch. Sorry.
Right, B. Anyway, this takes us straight into some fun questions.
Let's go.
Let's get right into it. Copying E Young there.
Where's the bloody fun questions?
Right, B. First question. Member of Crass Haller, regular listener to the podcast, at Craig Not Craig.
He's back again.
Craig said, "Amazing music.
Uh-oh.
Best score ever."
What's this?
Best score ever.
For what?
Well, what we're talking about, Dunkirk. Would it have been better being a 15? I don't think so.
Oh.
It makes me want to learn more about World War II.
Mm.
Which is, to be fair, Craig has nailed 2 of our points here.
Yes.
Right? But he's for the score, and compared to other Hans Zimmer films where we're kind of against it.
Right.
But he's also picked up on your point when we discussed it being a 15.
Yes.
Now, it's not a real depiction of war because there's no blood and guts in it.
Yes.
But like what Craig says, it makes him want to learn more about World War II. And that gives an opportunity for younger people to do as well.
Like I said.
Like what you said.
So
I'm
so it's done its job, I suppose.
Maybe it's nice to see a war film that doesn't have that in. Maybe.
For that reason.
I can kind of see where Craig's coming from.
I mean, that's great if someone's been inspired to learn more about the stories of these people's horrendous lives that they got. I mean, it's the least you can do, I suppose.
Maybe we're just sadistic fucks.
We
don't want to see arms being blown off.
I'm not lying. You know what I mean? But
cheese like Craig. Next one. I don't think we know this guy. At Bosk Bounty Hunt.
Who is he?
Hi, Bosk from Bristol here. Dunkirk is amazing, but which Kirk would beat rather kiss? Shatner's Kirk, Pine's Kirk, or Hemsworth Kirk Senior?
Right.
Bosk, you're legend. I wanted to put him under a little bit of pressure this podcast. Beat, who would you rather kiss? Firstly, would you kiss a man for a bet?
I'll kiss a man. I'm confident enough with my own sexuality.
Let's get this right. Is it a peck? This isn't a peck.
It's not a peck.
This is a French kiss. Tongues and saliva exchanging.
Jesus Christ.
So you've got Shatner's Kirk, Pine's Kirk, Hemsworth Kirk Senior.
Right, so here's the reasoning.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not the reason, because Hemsworth Kirk Senior doesn't have a beard. I thought Hemsworth Kirk Senior would have a beard, but he doesn't at the start of the film, I don't think.
Do any of them have a beard? None
of them. But I was reasoning that if Hemsworth Kirk had a beard, because obviously he's 4, and I'm just remembering things. I'm Mandela affecting things here. It would be Bristly Kiss.
Bristly, right? So
So I
you would
wouldn't want-
eradicate that one.
I'd eradicate that. You don't want a bristly
Didn't
case.
didn't Shatner's Kirk have a beard in like the later ones?
No.
Did he
I
not?
don't think so. I'm leaning towards Shatner.
Why?
Because I get to see our
Because he's
French
got a
kiss.
pair. Oh, I know why. Old Shatner with the tits.
No, because I get to
Old
see...
overweight Shatner or not?
Yeah, that's it. But I get to see our French kiss Shatner now.
That's fair.
And everybody's French kiss Chris Pine.
I'd probably go with Chris Pine because
Would
he's a
you?
goddamn
You
legend.
dirty bastard.
Mate, he's a good looking guy. Like
He is, but it's the Shatmeist.
fair.
It's a beat. That's terrible.
So, B, going into our final question.
Thanks, Bosk. By the way,
Cheers,
there's two
Bosk.
people who love the film. I just feel wrong.
I feel like we've totally let everyone down.
I suppose we have.
We've battered it, but we batter everything. To be fair,
Yeah, that's more interesting.
I think
It is a good film.
maybe we should have given it a 7 out of 10.
Maybe we should have.
It's been beaten by Baby Driver.
It's a 6
and,
though.
can we not go back now?
I'd much rather watch Baby Driver.
Would
It's got
you?
more style and fun.
What else did we give a 7? War of Planet of the Apes.
Oh, did I give that a 7?
I think I got a 7, mate.
Oh, Dunkirk's a better film than that.
I think it's a better film than War of Planet of the Apes.
Shit. we found flaws already.
I know.
Moving on, get past it. It's a 6 out of 10.
Right,
War of the Planet of the Apes is a better film
We've
technically.
spoken. B, we've got our top friends at NTFTT Pod again. Again, regular listeners, top people, give them a listen to as well.
Truly humbled.
So NTFTT Pod say, B, if Dunkirk was remade to be the worst movie ever, who would direct it?
Wow.
So if it was going to flunk and flop,
Right, I've got the answer straight away.
who would direct it?
Do you want it?
Come on, then you go first.
It's lost me. What? Wait, it's gone out my head.
James Cameron.
No.
Who's lost?
There's only ever been one person to ruin a war franchise. It's been done before. Michael Bay.
My God.
Step up. Am I wrong in saying directed Pearl Harbor?
Did he direct Pearl Harbor?
He turned Pearl Harbor into a love triangle. Men died on that day, John. Men died on that day.
Mate, if he directed this, there would be bloody explosions.
There would be Bumblebee would burst out of the goddamn sea.
Imagine some of them boat explosions.
Battleship?
Did he do Battleship or not?
He may well have. It's one of his movies.
I'm gonna
Get
see
his goddamn filmography on.
Why we're here? Why not?
Kenneth Branagh would turn into a goddamn car. He'd be the brand
The
bikini.
BFG boat.
He'd be the brand bikini out.
The BFG boat would turn into like a fucking speedboat to get them all off. Right, what's it? Oh, he's done Armageddon beat.
Oh, classic.
Has he? What the? No way.
What?
Guess what he's executive producer on?
What?
Warriors, the new film, the remake.
They're not remaking
The
the
remake
Warriors.
of Warriors out.
Ugh.
I swear, mate, I swear. But you've definitely made this up, like.
He directed Pearl Harbor. I'm not kicking myself in the arse.
Mate, I'm checking here. Right, Pearl Harbor 2001.
I need time for time travel to go back to find out if he Pearl Harbored us or not.
Director Michael Bay, mate, you're right.
Fucking get it.
Yeah, so he ruined that.
Yep,
So
ruined it.
fair enough. Who would I go with, Pete?
Take your pick. George Lucas.
George Lucas.
Yeah,
100%.
that's my pick. I'm sorry for saying it.
No, I was
Red
going to go
Tails. He made Red Tails, which was the Tukursky Airmen,
Black People, the Black
Full
People
black.
flight.
full black unit. And I think he completely ruined it. That's why you get told wrong. They're making jokes. Who's out with
Like
Jerry
it's
Maguire?
war.
Who's out with Jerry Maguire?
What's it called? Red Tails, Pete.
Red Tails. Who's out with Jerry Maguire? He's in. No, it's not Iron Man. Crap. Cuba Gooding Jr. He's in Pearl Harbor as well. It's a goddamn time
It's got
continuum.
a 5.9, mate.
Made the
Cuba
cracking
Gooding
jokes
Jr.
every 5 seconds. How and they're blown up like trains and that.
Anthony Hemingway directed this, Pete.
Oh, sorry. George Lucas was like a secondary,
Oh, all right.
but he listened to everything he said
Right, okay.
and he made it a mess.
All right, I'll give you that one.
Or it could maybe not his fault at all.
George Lucas is done. He's done. He's had his time.
They're grim words. John.
Who else? What other old directors is the beat that's had the time?
Had the time?
And now we're just fucking everything up.
James Cameron,
Do you reckon Cameron can be put
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. That's who I was thinking about.
Right.
Ridley Scott, mate, is just losing the plot.
Robin Hood.
Jesus. I'm going. Look at some of these stills on this of Red Tails, beat.
Right, that looks good. Oh my god. Nice.
Yes.
Stereotypical evil German.
Stereotypical evil German, which
That's
is what
we
this
need.
film is.
I love Red Tails.
The
7 out of 10.
biggest villain of any film, the Nazis.
That's the R.
But the beat that kind of wraps this one up, mate.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the questions, Peter. Always appreciate
that, mate.
you.
Beat that wraps it all up, mate. This wraps
Excellent,
it up.
So maybe our experience of Dunkirk was ruined by 2 meatheads.
But unfortunately, we still went for it.
We'll never know.
We've had 2 bad experiences at that cinema. Maybe it's
What was the other
enormous.
bad experience?
When we got like last seats for
Oh my God.
War of the Planet of the Apes,
We're
we
in the
broke
rocket
our,
ship.
we broke
Like
our
90
neck.
degrees up in the
We
air.
got down in Spitfire, mate. Looking upwards.
Terrible. Ugh.
Oh god, aye. Anyway, the plugs be.
Plugs.
Follow us on Twitter at Talking Crass.
You know them.
SoundCloud, Talking Crass. Patreon, if you want to donate us a little bit of money so we can afford pop filters. We're on there. Mainly, keep saying it, go on our iTunes. If you listen to us on iTunes, we're pushing that now because on SoundCloud, when like your phone closes, a lot of people listen on the iPhone, and when that closes, it cuts it off and you've got to go back to start on SoundCloud.
Ridiculous.
So we're now linking I like the podcast on iTunes.
Like the bunch of
So if-
goddamn
Yeah, if
rookies we
like
are.
rookies we are, because we'll learn as we go. So everyone obviously get the app and listen to it on the podcast, and then when you do that, drop us a review. 5 stars and out, people. That's it.
We will send you a Lee Enfield rifle from the film Dunkirk.
We will not send you one of them rifles. That wraps it up. I've been John,
I've been beat.
and this has been Talking Crass, episode 11, Dunkirk. That sounds like a cow.
He is on you. Iron on him. That was terrible.
Awful. See you later, people.
Bye bye.